Welcome everyone to this briefing brought to you by the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF. Thank you so much for bearing with us this week as our schedule is not quite the same. Much of our team, including myself, are traveling in the US, so we're trying to bring you these briefings as we can. It's a great pleasure to sit today with Lieutenant Colonel Yaron Buskila. Yaron, great to see you again on this briefing.
Thank you, Moshe. The honor to be here.
Yaron, we have a lot to discuss, and you, of course, have a lot of inside knowledge of this war with your operation as the Chief Operations Officer of the Gaza Division. But before we talk about Gaza, right now on the headlines of the news is the President of Syria trying to strike a deal with President Trump that the IDF should withdraw from Syria. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so in the last year, the IDF is holding a limited area inside Syria, just between Syria and Israel. Those areas have strategic and topographic benefits, and that's why we have to be there, because as you know, and I believe that all of the audience heard, this area is not stable. There are a lot of groups, terror groups, that try to attack Israel, they try to attack the Druze, and actually they're not like part of the Syrian army, and they have their own goals. And to attack Israel. So Israel decided to get in and to hold this area until we will have a security guarantees that no one will attack us from those areas, because not all over the border is the high area that is have a topographic value. That's why we have to get in. Now, I believe that there will be a time that we will leave this area, but first of all, the President of Syria have to give the security guarantees that no one will try to penetrate into Israel to attack our citizen or our troops. By the way, in the last month, there was a lot of weapon smuggling through this border. Much of them are weapons. And as you understand, if they can smuggle a weapon, they can smuggle or penetrate into Israel. Terrorists can get in and make a terror attack, and we have to make sure that that's not happening.
So if you could just give us a little bit more of a deeper understanding that before October 7th, Israel was not deep into Syria, was not in Syria, and the border seemed quiet, so to speak. So why is there a strategic necessity right now for Israel to be in Syria if the border had been quiet without Israel being in Syria?
Yeah, so before October 7, actually, all of this area was not holding by Assad, the last president of Syria. It was holding actually by Iran and Hezbollah. Iranian, they send them some of their troops, officially troops, that belong to Iran, and they start to build an Iranian position in front of the border of Israel. And some of the position they've been built by the Hezbollah. And they actually was waiting to make an invasion into Israel and to attack our civilians and our troops. But when the October 7 attack started, one of the first thing that we did is attacking those positions. And once Assad escaped from Syria, and we understood that this area is not stable because no one right now taking responsibility for this area at all. So we understood that this is our time to get in. Actually, it's not very deep in Syria. We're talking about a range of between some of the areas that are 2 kilometers, like, almost 1 mile, and some of the areas are like maybe 2 or 3 miles, not more than that. But the value of this area is the topographic value, that everywhere we're staying, we can see who's coming by, who's trying to get close, or to get it, or to attack Israel. And by the way, part of what we're doing is to defend. We're defending the Druze in Syria, that they are cooperating with that. They have families inside Israel, and time after time, we opposed those radical groups that try to kill those Druze, and they slaughter a lot of people there in the Druze community. And right now we're trying to stabilize this situation. Again, once the Ashara, the new president of Syria, can give us security guarantees by sending his troops, the Syrian troops, to be there, and we will make sure that he can hold this area and there is no risk for Israel, we have no reason to stay there anymore.
So you mentioned something interesting, that Israel's presence in southern Lebanon is, of course, supporting and defending the Druze community. And I'm curious, how meaningful is that, not just for the Druze, but also for Arab groups within Israel, meaning the clans in Hebron or parts of Judea and Samaria, or some of these militias countering Hamas in Gaza? The idea that Israel stands by those who stand with it, is that a message that resonates and that's valuable, not just, again, in southern Syria, but also in Judea and Samaria and in Gaza?
Yeah, actually, I think it's a really good question, because right now there are around 8 clans inside Gaza that they were attacked by the Hamas, and they were against what happened on October 7th, and they're cooperating with Israel, and we are fully protecting them on the areas that are on the hand of the IDF right now. As you probably know, there is the yellow line inside in Gaza. 50% of the area is holding by the IDF, and 50% are actually by the Hamas. And so we give them a shelter, safe zone, and we make sure that the Hamas is not attacking them. And the Hamas actually pushing us to leave the yellow line, just because, I mean, not only, but one of the first thing that they want to do is to revenge those clans and to kill them, and to make sure that they are not threatening them anymore, not cooperating with Israel. So yeah, this is a very strong message for the Arab society inside Israel, like those that the clans inside the Hebron right now, and there are some other places as well. And those who don't want the Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon, and same like what we just talked about in the Druze in Syria, and same as in Gaza. And I think this is the right action. This is exactly what we should do. And I think that if we will just keep doing that, our enemies will understand that we're not giving them any chance, not, of course, not to attack us and not to attack those who support Israel and helping to defend Israel.
And how strong are those clans in Gaza? I mean, do they have weapons? Do they have strategy? Do they have the ability to pose a credible, threat against Hamas? Is Israel supporting those clans in any way? What else can you tell us about them?
So they're not more strong than the Hamas. The Hamas build his abilities and capabilities, and in 20 years, with the help of Iran, they gave them a lot of ammunition and weapon, and right now is a very, very strong group inside Gaza. But when we're talking about these clans, we're talking about 8 different clans all over Gaza. And by the time they're getting the support of the society inside Gaza, and that's what gives them the power. And of course, Israel helped them. Israel strike at the Hamas when he tried to get close and to kill them. Israel helped them with ammunition, even with training, and help them maybe to be the next one that will lead Gaza, take over Gaza, and maybe I hope that their only willingness will be how to make Gaza better and give it to the Gazan people a better life, and of course not to go back in terror. If that's what we will do, Israel will keep supporting them. If not, we will not let even to those clans to just under the protect that Israel give them, to start and to fight against Israel, to build abilities for the future to attack Israel. By the way, the Hamas started this. That was kind of the group that Hamas was in the 1983. He said that this is only a charity group, That's what he really care about. And for 5 years, he just armed himself. He prepared. In 1987, he started to attack Israel. So Israel didn't really follow him, didn't really want to see what he's doing, and he ignored that the fact that he was arming himself. We can't let it happen anymore. So in one hand, we support these clans, but in the other hand, if they will change their ideas and their goals, we will be there to stop them.
And there are still Hamas terrorists stuck in this tunnel. What can you share with us about what's happening over there?
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, those we're talking about between 100 to 150 terrorists that there is on their way to attack our units in Rafah, our soldiers in Rafah. And they actually wanted to kidnap soldiers. That was the big plan, to attack and to kidnap soldiers so they can hold hostages again and soldier and go negotiate again about the framework of for the future. But our soldiers were there. We got the information from our intelligence unit that they're on the way to attack our soldiers. By the way, my son was there, is still there, in the same area that they wanted to attack. And our soldiers, immediately when we got this information, we went there to the tunnel muzzle, we hold the tunnel muzzle, and we didn't let them go out. So they're still there. Right now, there is in the Donald Trump and his team try to convince Israel to let them go back to Gaza without hurting them. Why? Because they trying to convince the Hamas that here they are the strong now, the American soldiers are the strong group right now in Gaza. They can let them go, and the United States will take care about them and about Israel, and they will stabilize the situation, and they are giving the last word about Gaza. I hope that Israel will not let them go. They are full terrorists. They're on a way to a mission to attack our soldier, to kidnap soldier. They need to, there is only two things that we can do with them. The first one, to let them get out of the tunnels and take them to jail. Second option, to kill them inside the tunnel. I don't see any other option.
Yaron, we know, of course, you're not a prophet, but how much longer is this war in Gaza going to continue? When will Israel finally achieve this goal of destroying Hamas in Gaza?
Well, this is a question of a Jewish person from a nation that like to make an exit. And there is no exit with fighting against the Hamas, against the terror. The terrorists, the Hamas terrorists, they build their abilities for more than 20 years. And they spent a lot of money, invest a lot of money with this underground tunnel. We're talking about 700 kilometers of tunnels and many other infrastructure. So it takes time, but we are in the right way. I think that we're now in a critical time that if the Hamas will see that actually no one support him anymore, not Qatar, not because Qatar don't like him, because Qatar have another tensions right now and another interest because the United States get involved in what's happening in Gaza. So Qatar is not supporting him anymore, and not Turkey, and not other countries. I believe that you understand that the best thing for him, for their leaders, to leave Gaza. And but it's still going to take time because what the Hamas is trying to do right now, he thinks that he can make the same model of the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the south of Lebanon. As you probably know, the UNIFIL, they got into the south of Lebanon, and they had a mission to make sure that there is no terror organization there. But actually, they did nothing, and the Hezbollah, under the shelter of the UNIFIL, build day by day his abilities and the terror infrastructure. So the Hamas think that he can do that in Gaza as well, to say, okay, the Americans going to be here, maybe some soldier from other countries, and they will take care with the responsibility for the civilians, and we will just be focused on recover and rearm again, and to start and to hurt the Israeli soldiers. Some of the time using snipers, explosive charge, the same model of Lebanon. We cannot accept that. We cannot let it happen. If the United States or the other countries will make real active movements inside Gaza to make sure that the Hamas is not being eradicated, is not leaving the Gaza Strip, we will have to get inside and to keep fight against the Hamas, so there will not be any risk for the Israeli in the future.
Yaron, you are the Chief Operations Officer of the Gaza Division, but you also have a very deep understanding of what is happening in Judea and Samaria. Can you give us a little bit of an update on that front of the war, Judea and Samaria?
Yeah, that's really interesting. We believe that the Judea and Samaria, that's going to be the next challenge of Israel. And the reason is that, first of all, the Hamas is very strong, still strong in the Judea and Samaria. The second thing is that Mahmoud Abbas, the leader of the PO, is 90 years old, he's ill, and he's not going to live forever. Once he will not function anymore, will die, there is going to be a serious clash inside the Judea and Samaria between all of the Arab groups that want to take the leadership. And those who will not get the leadership, they will try to fight against Israel. They try to unstabilize the situation in Judea and Samaria. And I hope that they will not try to make any invasion into our villages. The same that happened October 7th. So we are preparing actually right now, in this moment that we're talking, the Judea and Samaria division practicing. There is a full week of practicing to the day after Mahmoud Abbas, because we know that there is a big chance that there will start to be a chaos in Judea and Samaria, and we want to be the first one to react and not let them hurt our civilians or take control of the Palestinian Authority. We can't let the Palestinian Authority keep doing what they did all of these years, pushing their people to terror, paying money for terror groups, or those are in jail, or encouraging the young people or in the school to be involved in terror. We have to change it. And I think that once Mahmoud Abbas will die, that will be our opportunity to get in, to be really involved in what's happening there in those big cities, the Arab cities, and to make sure that this reality is not keeping the same it is right now.
So there's, of course, a lot of discussion about the day after Abbas and other clans, Hamas, who will take over. But why isn't it just a likely scenario that the PA will continue with a different leader, right? Whoever that leader will be, meaning why is it almost a foregone conclusion that there will be the collapse of the PA, as opposed to they have a pretty good economic situation, unfortunately, and they'll continue and they'll just find someone else?
So first of all, the Arab society in Judea and Samaria are very, very divided. They're very divided. There are many disagreements between all the clans, some of the tribes, families inside in the same farm or in the same villages. And the Arabs, if we take, like, for example, the Arabs that live in Hebron are very different from the Arabs that living in Jenin or in Ramallah. It's a different kind of Arabs with very different goals. And there is disagreement about how the Judea and Samaria need to look like under the control of the Palestinian Authority. So when Yasser Arafat was the leader of the Palestinian Authority, he was very strong because most of the people in the Arabic people were really actually supporting them. They saw him as a leader. But Mahmoud Abbas, he never got the trust of the Arab society. The only one that actually gave them the option to be a leader and support them and give them the back is Israel, because we all the time wanted like the Palestinian Authority actually will function in a way that will help Israel not to be involved in the day life of those Arabs, and they will take responsibility, the education, of taking care about, I don't know, cleaning the streets or the banks and money and so on. But Mahmoud Abbas, a very big hater of Israel since he was very, very young, what he did from the first day that Israel helped them to be the president of the Palestinian Authority, he was pushing to terror in his special ways. His special way is by political way, by the UN, by by the education system. And I was hearing I almost every week, I opened the Palestinian radio, the official Palestinian Authority radio. Every day, I open between 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can hear that loud and clear. They don't even hide it. How to pushing the society into terror. They're pushing them to attack every Jew everywhere he is. They don't even try to hide it. So we cannot let it happen. We have to make sure. I think that the best way is to separate between the areas. Like this, it's called the myriads model. The same like in the Gulf, the myriads. Same in the Judea and Samaria. Let every city manage itself. Every area to manage itself. And first of all, they're very different. I think they have an interest to do that by themselves. They don't trust by the Palestinian Authority because they know that there is a lot of corruption in the Palestinian Authority. And I think it will be even much easier for Israel to manage this area, this area, when you separate all of these powers inside the Arab society in Judea and Samaria, than to give again to the Palestinian Authority the power to push them into terror.
Yaron, one final question, and then I'll let you go for the day. This one comes from our viewers, and thank you, of course, to all of our viewers and all of our supporters who follow these briefings, send in your questions, and make these briefings relevant for you. The question is about the Army radio. Can you give us a very brief understanding of this history of the Army radio and why it's so necessary for it to be shut down right now, how it impacts morale of soldiers in the Army?
So the Galetza, the Army radio, actually was initiated just for encourage our soldiers when they were in operation during the war, the 6-day war, the Yom Kippur war, and so on, and to encourage the society to support the IDF, and to actually to make the society trust the IDF and feel much more safe by explaining to the society what the IDF is doing, and bring some of the voices from the field to the society in Israel. But by the years, some of the people that were leading this radio station, they come from a very specific area, the political area, and they started to make a radio program and segments that start to talk politics. And by the time, they didn't only speak against the politicians, especially from the right wing, even some of them started to speak against the IDF, against the IDF operations, the IDF decisions, the IDF actions during the war. And that's ridiculous. How can a radio station that belongs to the IDF can speak against the IDF? So by the years, none of the politicians had the courage to change it, because he was very, very afraid that it will hurt him in this station, that this all of the other radio station, we start to talk against him, and then he will lose his power in the area. And this is the first time that the defense minister, he taking this, I think, the right decision to close this radio station and to reopen it in a way that is supporting Israel, supporting the IDF, and of course, not undermine the IDF in Israel as a IDF radio station.
Lieutenant Colonel Yaron Buskila, thank you so much for all that you have been doing throughout this war. Thank you for sharing with us today. Thank you to all of our viewers and supporters for tuning into this briefing. Again, we're on a modified schedule this week due to travel, so we will not be back with you tomorrow. So expect our next briefing to be next week, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. in Israel. Until then, stay safe, stay strong. Take care, everyone.